It's the Daily Talk Show, episode 858.
Weekend banter. Welcome, Georgie boy, Mr. 97s.
Thank you.
What's happening, guys?
It's Sunday.
I thought today it is Sunday, we can do a sort of retro on the week, a bit of a, celebration, if we will. I feel like it's been a great week. There's been some highlights. Georgie boy, you used to do the, sort of summary in a video. Now you do a whole episode, which we've added more hours to your day. But what have been some highlighghts for you from this week?
I reckon it's less work, to be honest.
Really? Oh, fuck, Josh.
That's good to know.
2 days a week show?
Probably, yeah. How long do you reckon you spend on doing Hump Day Replay, the podcast?
Nah, it's like a full day on Monday, preparing for it.
Yeah.
And often till quite late, just getting all the snippets and stuff ready.
Yeah.
And then, so, it's still a lot of work, but the videos were just kind of more depressing.
Very rewarding for me, if I will say, but I'm selfish.
And it was super rewarding once it was done. But the lead up to it was just banging your head against the wall, trying to think of ideas.
Yeah,
and I got Mace to think of ideas for us, so that's good.
Before you sort of talk about highlights, appreciation. You guys are doing such a great job. I feel like the team's really, found some synergy. Jess, we could have done this yesterday when Jess was here, but it's not Sunday. You can't look back on the week.
It's true.
Jess is doing an amazing job, and so are you, Josh, even when you are shitting on your own couch.
Yeah, thank you. It's true. But highlights, George, what do you think? What's been the highlights of the week? Looking at the show, what's coming up for Hump Day Replay? Let's just have a bit of a sesh.
Okay. Can we talk about what we're doing for Hump Day Replay this week, Mace?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. We're doing a little bit of a different kind of episode this week. So instead of having just one guest on the whole time, we're going to call maybe 6 guests, and they're going to be on the phone for like 5 or 10 minutes at a time. It's going to rotate through and play different highlights to them. So that's going to be heaps of fun. But looking back on the week...
What about a personal? You seem to be struggling. Let's go personal. Eject, abort. Personal.
I just got like 10 minutes ago a case of beers delivered to the house.
Oh, that's nice. Delivered by like you ordered them? From who gave you a present?
No. My lovely stepmum and dad. They sent down a case of beer because they said, seeing as you can't go out and get on the beers, we thought we'd send the beers to you.
Great.
So that's nice. So I'm excited about that.
Do you know what I thought you were going to say? And it's definitely projecting. I thought you were going to say that you just got a Tony Hawk Pro Skateboarder, because I think it's like really on my mind. Do you guys know about Tony Hawk?
Didn't even know there was another one. Is there?
Well,
it's just come out.
Is it? What are they up to? PS17 or PS4?
No, so it's PlayStation 4.
Just releasing.
But it hasn't come out though, right?
Yeah.
No, it's you can pre-order the PS5 at the moment.
But I did see online people playing Tony Hawk, and I would love to get that game. I don't have a console. I was thinking you've heard me at the start of... I think if I did get a PlayStation at the start of ISO, I would have gotten a lot of use. But anyway, I think so, yeah. No, more than the DJ decks.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely more than the DJ decks, although the DJ decks we probably continue Friday night drinks, which meant you at least got, over a 8-week period, 8 uses, whereas I feel like the PlayStation you can get bored very easily.
But I think that like a PlayStation, I could imagine when I worked at Envato, they had a PlayStation. I don't think it would be cool to have at our next office a section where people could play PlayStation?
Definitely, but what will happen there?
IP had? Freaking cinema room and the PlayStation there. That was outrageous.
But I think what we're looking at that point is you feeling like it's really like you're using it when others are using it. So like the staff become an extension of you, but you haven't played it for 6 months, but everyone loves it.
But that's everything, don't you think? Like, that's like GB with the screenplays. Like, I don't even have to write them anymore. If GB's doing it, it feels like I'm doing it, you know?
I know. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I know what you mean. Mm-hmm. But if you got one for your house, if you got a PlayStation for your house, high chance it's...
I mean, but did you ever play the PlayStation at Envato, like during work hours?
I didn't. The funny thing is, I feel like the people that did were probably on the most amount of coin. Like, I'd always laugh seeing, like, you'd see, like, you know, the senior finance or legal that are definitely, like, on some serious coin, and they'd be playing table tennis.
They're the ones signing off on the PlayStation.
Imagine that
table.
Yeah,
that's a fucking $50 every.
So annoying.
The other thing that was really big was puzzles. My mate Pete, who worked in the legal team, he loved a puzzle. Would spend a lot of time on the puzzle.
You cannot puzzle during workout. What do you got on?
No, you can't.
What? Just puzzle at home.
They were like the whole business intelligence team and the legal team, like just working on puzzles. It's a different world, isn't it?
Well,
there was also
how about we get to a profitable business before anyone starts fucking playing puzzles in our joint?
Well, I guess that's the luxury of
who's got time for that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
It would be nice. Like, it's definitely a culture thing within a business.
You need to sit down for a good 2 hours to even like get into a puzzle.
How many people are we talking? 1,000 minutes.
Well, what they would do is they would have like a almost like a standing desk in the middle of the office, and you would sort of go over there and look around and try and find a few pieces.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so it's a team building exercise. You know, you're all building this thing together.
Although Pete, the same guy, love Pete. He
I've met him. Nice guy.
He actually tried to he was looking for all of I remember the MacBook Pro boxes. I remember him having a conversation with IT asking if they needed them, because he was flipping boxes on eBay. Like, apparently people pay decent cash for a box so that they can put it in, put their laptop into it. Yeah, something like that, because the idea being you put your old laptop into it, you can sell it for more.
I've got one.
That's very thrifty.
One at home at the moment that I could use. I end up just binning half that shit for myself.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, Apple products are registered to the user, and so at that point, well, not for because I never think of reselling anything. Anything I buy, I'm like never thinking, make me resale price on this Apple iPhone.
Yeah,
you know, is going to be through the roof.
GB, you've tried reselling things. Have you ever actually successfully resold something?
I'm shocking at retail. I actually can't think of anything I've ever sold. Like, I've tried to sell stuff, kind of like taken photos of it, and then.
Well, right now you look like you sell heroin in the outfit you're wearing, fucking moustache and beanie.
I was gonna sell my iMac, if you remember, at the start of the year.
Oh
and now I'm using it. I don't actually really even use my laptop that much. It's a piece of shit. Pissed off.
Oh, really? Oh, that's annoying.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with the 16-inch MacBook Pro? Because I was looking at getting a laptop,
and that's a spec'd out. Like, that MacBook Pro is like six grand.
Completely spec'd out. Yeah, completely spec'd out. It's just like rendering stuff isn't even that fast. Like, it's I can't really notice the difference. It takes ages to turn on when it's out of battery. I mean, like when you plug it in, it's at 0.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like my old MacBook Pro.
Are you the guy rendering
it still
on
turns
battery,
on like within a second? Oh, mate. Bit of battery, bit of charge.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean,
but also like just a few apps are like really slow. It's just a bit dodgy, and it gets really loud and overheats.
Yeah, they definitely have like thermal issues. Like, even yesterday when we had Jess on the show, you could hear her laptop, and I got her to go into the activity monitor, and she just had Chrome open. It was enough to get her fan going.
That's sad. That's sad. Well, you saw young Jamie from Joe Rogan posted an absolute takedown of the $70,000. What is it? Like an Apple tower, like a tower or something? Yeah. Mac Pro. He said something around. You buy the most expensive Apple and you can't even get a replacement. Like, it takes over a week or something. Well, I mean,
that's the thing. Like, when you're talking about those, especially something so high end, it's like it's not that easy, I guess, from a parts perspective, or it's not like you can just go to an Apple store. And
I wonder if he dropped into when he called Apple and said, "I'm from the Joe Rogan Experience." Like you'd think they'd move heaven and earth, because Apple are great at not getting. You don't like they bury bad press. Like you told me the story of like they don't like connecting their press to individuals as such. Yeah. There's a few trusted sources. Someone, Josh, got a laptop and then posted about it. And they told him
for the laptop. I'm like, hey, just don't mention it. Just take that down. But
that's high. That's high status.
Yeah, that's very high status. But the Mac Mini, I think, is a cool product. Like if I was to get a computer in 2020, I would get a Mac Mini.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, the only problem with them is that they don't have any. You're relying on internal graphics. Like you don't have your own. Like if you're editing on it, it's you're just using the inbuilt graphics in the CPU.
We can get via USB-C like external boxes now for graphics. I don't know how good they are.
To be honest, guys, I haven't had any issue with a iMac.
An iMac,
they're good, aren't they? They're great.
I love an iMac.
Speedy, very speedy.
Just like dual monitors. It's been a while since I've had a dual monitor set up. Like I had a dual monitor set up when I was like 15. I don't have one now. Like how have I gone so far back in life? It's bullshit.
But you do have a very powerful PC.
Yes.
That you're working from, plus another one. What's your ultimate? What is it? I mean, for you, it's two screens, an iPad Pro, a keyboard that really is tactile.
That's it, really.
A butt plug, and a mouse.
No, I mean it's pretty basic. The screen thing's interesting. Like getting a I was looking at some of the Dells. Have some nice screens.
Osbargain?
Yeah, Osbargain had some good sales.
But George, this week you there's a couple of firefighters came to your apartment block.
Oh yeah. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. This was the highlight of a day.
Making yourself laugh,
just walking down the stairs, and I smelt some burning. I was like, what's burning? It smelled like burnt rubber. Went outside, and like the bloody fence is on fire, and and it looked like the bush was on fire. It was like 2 meter flames, heaps of smoke.
Jeez,
like Jesus, what's going on here? Oh, sorry about that. I'm getting a call. And so I went outside, and this guy had come round and lit a barbecue on fire, poured petrol on it, and just burnt it in the bush.
And when just a random barbecue. You mentioned this, and I was like, is that in a house? Someone had a barbecue at a house, and they've just accidentally lit it on fire, or
behind? I don't know who it was, but behind our house, there's like a little alleyway, and there's been this barbecue that sits there, and so I think someone owned it in the house near the little alleyway.
Yeah,
and it had like a plastic cover over the top of it, and so this guy must have wheeled it to behind our house and then just burnt it.
What are they trying to do?
I know.
No idea.
Who's it for? What's it for, Josh?
Yeah, it's a good question.
So the smell we could smell was like that burning plastic smell. Like it was.
Oof.
So what did the fiery say? Were the cops there? Did they
No, so there was this other guy a couple of doors down who was in charge of calling the fireys. So he called.
What do you mean in charge? Like how did you communicate?
Who determined that?
He just had his phone ready to go, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to call them. Okay, great. So he called the fireys, and they came about pretty quick call time. I reckon they came about 5 minutes later.
Was there any attempt from the neighbours or from yourself to try and put the fire out?
Nah, because I think we got told not to in case there was a gas bottle or something.
Oh, jeez.
But there wasn't a gas bottle. Anyway, all the fireys rocked up. There was 7 fireys and like the big fire truck and stuff, big hose. And by the time they got there, the flame would have been 6 inches high on one of the corners of the barbecue, like tiny.
So it had gone out?
It just went out all of a sudden, and we had to like. So it's pretty.
It's a pretty shit arson job, isn't it? One job.
So like, I mean, but then I was thinking the fireys, they probably had a bit of a slow day, so that's something exciting for them to come and. I mean,
Just,
seven people on the job. And
So
It is always
yeah.
interesting why. I mean, I'd love to understand. I mean, you worked as a fiery Josh, didn't you?
Yeah. I worked in the media
Wait.
department. Yeah.
But why? Why do you sometimes to a cat in a tree get seven vans, 7 trucks?
Well, because
What's the deal?
they send out from different fire stations. So if it gets caught in traffic or whatever,
Okay.
so whenever there's a call, there'll always be, I think, a minimum of 2 trucks
Yeah.
based on coming from different areas.
Yeah, first in, best dressed.
Mhm.
You'd be.
Is that music in the background, George?
No, it's at my end. I think it's the plumber's phone.
Okay.
What a ringtone.
You gotta fucking pay that, don't you? You gotta pay that. No, good. How are you mentally, George? What's your percentage?
Really good. I got asked this yesterday by Han, and I gave her a 90 yesterday.
Wow.
So today I reckon I'm probably still a 90. Feeling
Solid.
great.
That's good.
Went and bought a smoothie before the show.
Where from?
That's
From
good.
an organic shop. Like splurged $10 on a oat and strawberry and banana smoothie.
Sometimes you gotta,
right.
Went for a bit of a walk. And yeah, so feeling great. Pumped.
Good one.
About Screenplay Sunday, the podcast.
So it's released right now.
It's
if you're
out
listening
now.
to this, you can go to Screenplay Sunday on your favorite
Yeah.
podcast app.
Yeah.
What was the highlight? Like, can you give us a little teaser,
Yeah.
GB? What was sort of the highlight of the podcast?
Well, special guest Ryan Shelton for a start, which is a great highlight. I don't want to like he was amazing, and he's a good actor, isn't he? He was great at
great.
reading.
Yeah.
Like the way he read through that script, it was like he'd read it before, but it was the first time he'd seen it as well. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. I mean, I don't want to call it a highlight, but the start, like the opening line from you, Josh, was really good
Okay.
of the whole podcast. Like
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Sure. Okay.
the very first lines.
Yeah, you have to. You have to listen to that. Are you guys watching any? Last night I was watching Paris Hilton has a documentary out.
She's
Oh,
made a
really?
few home videos. Is this
Yeah.
one of them?
Well, no, you can't. Like they talk about that. It's shame on you. They talk about like it's sort of the real Paris Hilton type of vibe. It's a YouTube original.
Yes.
The trailer, I think that you're led to believe that there's going to be some sort of big aha moment of like, oh no, it's like Paris is actually completely different than the persona. But the doco went for an hour and 50 minutes, which is very long for a doco, I feel. I watched 50 minutes and it didn't tell me at that point. So I went to bed and Bree kept watching. So I wouldn't recommend it. But are there any Netflix things or shows that people are watching? Sevs, I feel like you've had a bit of time to watch shit.
Has he?
Have you?
Yeah, I mean, what does he do in the evenings?
Just hang out.
Stare at Grace?
Family man,
Family man. Well, what are you doing though when you hang around? Like you're playing
No,
board games,
we
playing
have
cribs.
Nah, we have been when it's Grace and I, we've been watching Thank God You're Here. So that's been
Classic
that's
family family event.
How did you even get onto that, Sevs? I mean, that would have been before
Grace
your
just
time,
suggested
yeah?
it. Oh yeah. Grace suggested it, and I was like, oh, I've never heard of it before. And
You'd
then
never heard of
we
it?
watched. Nah, never heard of it. And then I
What
watched
year?
an episode. I was like, this
2008?
is great. 2007, 2008, yeah.
Mhm.
And then so I watched an episode and I was like, this is great. But we're probably in like 7 episodes in and it's probably getting a bit slow now. Like it's
Slow.
very similar. Like it's the same thing every time.
Sure.
And so we end up just skipping every segment just to when they, go walk through the door. So we're watching that.
What do they do before the door? So this is it's an improvisation show.
Oh, there's just a lot of talking. Just a lot of
Set
like,
up the
mate, how you
premise?
feeling? It's They've spent 8 episodes saying the exact same. I mean, I guess back in the day, people aren't binging this, so
Yeah.
they just
There's a
keep
bit of
resetting every single week. So I'm sick of the resetting.
Is it cut? Are you watching it ad free all the way through?
Yeah. So here's a little life hack: if you install uBlock ad blocker, you don't get any ads on 10 play. So
Oh,
you
interesting.
Don't
And
feel like
so-
watching
Good to know.
ads, you can just watch right through.
And
them.
would it work on Channel 9 as well?
Yep. I'm
Is
assuming
it
so.
cut?
I assume
Is
so.
it
Right.
even when you do that? So, like, I was watching this old Joe Rogan TV show, and it's cut like it's gone to the break, comes back, resets. Is it doing that?
Yeah. It's like, oh, we'll be right back after this, and then it goes to an ad. And you can see there's a little yellow marker in the player that shows where the ad is. And so they've inserted them properly, but since you've got ad block, it just goes right through.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, we watch...
I mean, it's probably not good from a media model, sort of, like keeping the arts alive. But
not my problem, is it? They've made their cash,
It will be your problem.
Nah, it's fine. The thing is, everyone on that show, they've already made all their cash, so it's all fine,
Okay.
It's
And then sometimes when I'm watching YouTube and an ad comes up before the daily talk show, I'll let it play just so we get a bit of cash.
That's nice. I think we've got...
mate, you're really contributing to our $50 a month.
$50, that would get you, 5 of those organic smoothies?
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
I mean, it's not too bad.
We've actually got to
Smoothie
figure
budget.
out how to pull the cash out of it. I think it's just held by YouTube at the moment, so we got to pull it
AdSense,
out.
you need to, Sevs. You need
Yeah.
access. I tried to. Didn't have the access.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll figure it out.
Yep. Good boy.
That's good.
Good boy.
man.
Have you guys
me.
actually
Yeah, great
ever
admin.
have you ever been to a live TV show? Like
Yep.
studio
Yes.
audience?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What
Have you been to, JJ?
So I've been to a few. I went to there was a show on the ABC. Is it called Cranium or something? It had
yes.
was that what it's called?
It rings a bell.
Yeah, it had I'm trying to think of the person's name. A radio personality, and I can't remember, but went to that also before the game.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I called up, I think it was Bridge and Limo, I think, or maybe it was Bridge and Tom. It was on, would have been Kiss, or what was before Kiss? Mix.
Mix.
It was Mix at the time.
Triple.
It would have been
Double T, I think.
2011, I reckon. I was 21.
Yeah.
And they were doing, I think it must have been Tom, they were doing Tool of the Week.
Oh, yeah,
And
great.
you could call up.
Home timber and hardware.
Yeah, you could say why you were a tool, and if you were had the best answer, you won tickets to go see before the game. And
Nice.
so, my tool of the week, I called up the radio station, and said, "I Google myself every single day." and
I see.
That won me tool of the week. But I did get
I like
to.
that.
I got to go to Channel 9 on Bendigo Street before it was all
Oh, cool.
shut down, filming. I was assisting on a shoot for Paul Hogan. They were doing a big sort of Paul Hogan documentary. I was working on that, and we went to the studio and stuff for that.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, I've been to a few of the TV studios. TJ, what have you been to?
Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay, yeah, that's a good
that
one.
was good. What else?
Who are you dancing with?
Wow.
Someone in the bloody lift. Woof woof.
Not far off. Worked my way into the after party as always.
Yeah.
No, I went to footy
After
show.
every episode, do they have one?
Every episode they have one.
Surely
Oh
not
my
anymore.
God.
Really?
Or
That's loose.
I've also
I just-
been to like
Imagine if
Conan
we did
and Jimmy Kimmel as well. So the US ones,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
a little bit of fun.
That'd be more fun, I think.
Mhm.
And then the footy show recording
Mm-hmm.
live. That was like the grand final footy show.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, they're stopping a lot of this live television suffering just because of COVID. What they're having to do, they released a list of shows that are going into production next year, and there's a bunch. I'm sure George is across all the gossip of television.
Mm-hmm. We need Happy Harry.
Not really.
There is,
I mean, on the Conan thing. So when I was working at a company, I was doing these case study videos where I'd film sort of examples of how different companies were using the technology of the company. And one of the clients, the people who used this technology, was Conan O'Brien's graphics team. They're like the motion graphics person, right? And so I contacted them and said, hey, could we do a case study video of how you use the product and how you use the technology within the show? And the guy's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And so we went to California, to Burbank, and I filmed a little piece and got to do the whole, like at is it Warner? I think it's at Warner, like on the lot. So you go to the lot and they've got all, like, it's almost like what's it, like temporary sort of blocks? What are they called? You have them in
Bollards.
schools. No, like
portables.
Portables. Yeah, they've got like all portable set up or whatever in the lot, and went in and filmed, and even got to go on the. We filmed in the set where Conan does the show, and there was like a big massive head, like a boggle head or whatever. And the one thing they said is it's like don't film like the logos because they're trademarked or whatever. But outside of that, you're fine. And so I filmed this thing, edited together, really cool case study. It's like, it was great. Is that your
I don't know, mate.
plumber? That's fine.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
And so anyway, filmed the whole thing and edited it all up, sent it to the graphics guy, the head of graphics.
Oh, no.
And he's like, I'm going to send this across to the producers just to double check that they're fine with it all. And apparently he got in a lot of trouble for letting us do it. Like, he hadn't properly gotten permission. He thought as long as they didn't put we didn't put the logos in, they would be fine. And he's like, sorry, we sort of you can't use it or I'd fucking like lose my job.
Oh, no.
And so I've got this great video that I did, but I never used it. So.
Can we do a private screening, please?
I can show it to you.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it was
Should we put it on Patreon?
No, that would be...
Just make cash off it. Yeah, great.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever, GB, have you ever really... So I was watching Logan Paul had Casey Neistat on his podcast and they royally fucked the audio. I felt for them. We've all had... I've spoken about the time where... when I was working at the fire brigade, I had a big shoot out. I think it was Carrum Downs. It was in a big, like a training site, and it was a big deal that I was going there to do this filming. Rocked up there, met the people involved. It was really professional. Really proud of myself. And I said, okay, I'm just going to go get all set up, and then and then we'll get going with it all. And I really prepped them in a big way. Went to the car, went to the camera bag, opened up the camera bag. I'd forgotten to put the camera in the camera bag.
Comes back holding
with the iPhone. Yeah. I mean, if only the cameras were that good. And so I had to call my boss and say, hey, that big project, it turns out I'm not going to be able to do it because I don't have the camera. So anyway, Logan Paul has had their own version of a fuck up where they had Casey Neistat on the show. The audio was completely ruined. Yeah. Have you ever had in your time any royal technical disasters?
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is I corrupted a drone card once.
Yes.
So we were filming a documentary, and there was it would have been like a 20-minute shot of this drone, like from the drone. Beautiful sunset. It was like hovering for ages. We're going to do a time lapse of all this stuff happening with the drone just sitting there, and put the card in and didn't mount, so
pulled it back out
and then
didn't
chucked it back in and. It didn't mount for ages. I was like, what's going on? Pulled it out. I was like, no, put it back in. And then it said, like, this card isn't, it's corrupt or whatever. So that was a bad one.
So whose fault is it? If we're to place blame, is it yours?
You could easily hand that off. You could hand that off just being like, guys, the card's broken.
Yeah. I mean, that happens. That's happened.
But the worst part, I mean, the reason I couldn't do that was because literally, like, I reckon that day, one of the DOPs saw me pull his card out without ejecting it. It was actually the guy who owned the drone as well.
Oh, really? Did he tell you don't do that?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Sadly.
So he said, "Don't pull out the card," and then
no. General advice
the
is to
drone
pull
card.
out, but he's the anti-pull out guy.
Yeah.
No, so the thing is, so he'd already told you off about his card,
Exactly,
and then at another time later, after you've been told off with a different card with the drone, you did the thing that he said not to do that corrupted. That's it's way worse.
I know, it is bad. But the thing, like, it didn't mount for like 7 minutes. Like, how long do you wait for it before you pull it out?
Yeah.
Like, it was really slow.
And so
Anyway.
it feels like you've got another one too. What else has happened?
Oh, the other one was in uni or at film school. I hired the Red to go film my videos, and actually we had 2 good cameras at SAE. We had the Red and the FS7, so there was only 2 of those. Then the other ones were like all DSLRs and stuff. And so I booked out both of them for 3 days. So I had both cameras. So I was going to do multicam, and no one else could film their videos for that week, pretty much. And we were filming out in this bush in the hinterland. And I had the Red set up with the 50mm 1.2 Canon on the jib, and I turned around and it just fell flat on the floor and shattered the lens.
And that's a cine lens. That's like a $20,000 lens.
And so what happened?
And well, I mean, no one could film with a 50mm anymore because we only had one.
Oh no! Do you know if the school insurance would cover that? Right?
Surely. I went back and I just said, like,
"Oh, it's broken lenses." Fuck.
Sorry,
guys, I picked it up like this. Yeah.
Far out.
And
That's a
so
nightmare.
everyone. I mean, I got my shots, so that was good. Everyone, all the other projects could only be filmed with a 24 and 85.
I mean, Sev's the one that stands out, I think, from my perspective with you, was when you said, should I update the server? And you pressed a button which brought down our entire server, which was the reason we ended up going to Ventura IP.
Yeah.
Was because
It worked out for the better.
Yeah, that was the day that I learned what the difference between self-managed hosting was.
Well, I mean, there's been there's been one with the show where we recorded a whole episode out of focus because I didn't focus it.
That's right. That was early days.
That was
We're
early
talking
days.
about I remember what we're talking about. The Grand Prix.
Were we?
Really? You remember that?
Yeah. I remember.
And it's like the funny thing is, halfway through the episode, it's very funny because you're just talking, and then I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, I wonder if I flick the automatic focus switch. So I went and I flicked it, and it made a noise. I was like, okay, I was on manual that whole time, and then I sat back down, and then Josh, I think you said,
no,
is everything all right? Someone said, is everything all right with the camera? And I was like, I just flicked it to automatic then.
Oh no!
Half the app was out of focus.
Can we actually get that footage? Can you put this snippet together with some of that footage and the moment that we found out?
That we realised, sure.
Because I remember, TJ, do you remember you were all for, you're like, mate, let's just keep going. Are you glad that we didn't?
Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't. It'd be annoying if it's like the Casey Neistat thing. Mm-hmm. Like that's... I mean, their choice to one of the biggest, it's probably up there with the bigger podcasts in the world, and they choose to air that, which is, I mean, they've got cash. They could have probably sent that audio to somebody to process a bit harder than they did.
Well, you don't know how fucked it was. Maybe it was.
Well, bad, true. No, you're right. Because I actually was listening thinking, no, I actually had a moment where I thought they'd pushed it pretty hard to get it back. So maybe it was absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
It was coming from one overhead mic or something. But but the thing is, these are all lessons that you have to...
For sure.
I think I've been pretty lucky, dude. I think I've been really lucky that I haven't had...
The other one that comes to mind is almost... There was one point in time where we had all of the daily talk shows... episodes and raw footage on a hard drive, and I downloaded this sync software that's meant to sync it to Google Drive or duplicate it across to other drives. And so I set it going and I think I did a one-way sync, and so it ended up wiping all the footage off the hard drive. And so I had this panic, just being like, oh my God, where's it gone? Where's it gone? And Josh just walks up the stairs and my hand's just in my head, just looking down, just trying to figure out what's happened.
I was pretty good about it though.
You were very good. You were just like, so how much have we lost? And I'm just like...
No. Hang on. You're not that good at you're not good about it. You go into this mode where you have totally disconnected from any emotion.
It's an out-of-body experience.
It's actually a way of dealing with trauma.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like how much have we lost? And I'm just like all of it. Like I've probably got the last 10 episodes, like raw footage and everything. And so I'm just having a meltdown, and Josh is there, just like, okay, so what can we do next time? And so I'm just like going through the hard drive, and I find like the temporary trash folder, and it's all in the temporary trash. And so I restore it. I was like, it's all good. It
was a good lesson though. Like I feel
like uninstalled the software, just like not ever doing any sort of fucking sync backup ever again. Keep it manual.
That's not the outcome. You just have more than one backup. You can
exactly. Yeah, but with one backup, syncing with one backup, don't do that. Just do a manual one first, and then you can sync. Very risky. It's very scary.
So Screenplay Sunday. Listen on your favourite podcast app. It's got Tony Lodge, GB, TJ, Jess, Ryan Shelton, and myself.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's also got, Josh.
What?
Legs.
I really think it's got legs.
It's got legs, mate. It's good format. It's it's the new Thank God You're Here, to be honest. It's
without the
good format.
Yeah, forget the resetting. Yeah, keep that.
Yeah, forget the ads.
Without the improv.
At this point,
Yeah, no improv. And so one of the things that we did discuss, which I'm trying to work out the specifics around, is Ryan was saying we can take the script that was written and extend the story. And so the one question I have around that is around, so we've got Matt Diavella who's going to be on in a few weeks. We're going to have Nat as well. Like these different characters, are they going to fit with the actors that we have coming in on the show?
Wouldn't that be fun?
I think that's a creative challenge.
Yeah, it's an
building
acting
out
challenge.
the whole script, and
Imagine
then
telling Matt Diavella he has to do a British accent.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
But imagine at the end of it if you could actually make a little film out of all of the episodes.
Well, I was saying to TJ, it's like if we are doing...
You're getting Diavella in just to act the whole thing out properly, screen it. That'd be great.
So we're doing... So there was 5 pages. There's a page per minute is what it works out in sort of screenwriting. If we do 10 episodes in, we will have 50 minutes already. And so you think about it, it's like...
How good's that?
It won't take that long. Like in 20 episodes, we will have a 120... will we have 120?
Feature film.
Yeah. We'll have a feature. 100 minutes.
That's what I'm excited about. Like, how good would it be to have like a whole story? We have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
10, 15 episodes in.
Yeah, we need something.
Yeah. And so each season, you could see it as a season, JJ, like you were saying, that could be producing a feature film per season.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that so if we look at it and said 20 episodes, and so if we did, hey Siri, what? Oh, no. Oh, this is interesting. It comes up differently now. Look.
Gives you room.
Hey Siri, what date is it in 20 weeks?
It's Friday, the 5th of February 2021.
Oh, 5th of February. So in February...
February 9 is at 1,000.
Yeah. So we could line it all up with the final episode of the season being for episode 1,000. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, wow. Good one, guys.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. I need a nap. I'm fucking tired.
Really?
Man.
Just don't take your magnesium before.
Magnesium.
Oh, well, I'm
okay.
Just...
Oh, you're right.
That's why
don't tell me what to do.
I need a fucking 3 magnesium and a bath.
And it'll look like a murder scene.
Yeah. And a bath bomb. Alrighty, guys. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.
See ya.